Glad to catch up with you. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about everything falling apart. So let me ask about your health first and foremost. Can you tell us what the injury is and how it happened and what the diagnosis is going forward?
I got a lot of stuff going on with my hip. Really uncomfortable. My range of motion is messed up. So, we've got one doctor's opinion. Next week I'm flying out to LA to get another scan and another opinion. And if the second doctor agrees with the first, I think it'll be a pretty quick return. We're just going to do some stem cell stuff, and I think I'll be moving around real quick. So I don't think I'll be out long at all.
Okay, well, that would be great news. Now, is this a chronic injury? Is this something like freak accident in the gym?
This is something I've been dealing with the last few camps, and it just progressively got worse. And then I did something to it this camp to where, I can still move around on it. I can still train, but if I say I do a sprint the next 2 days, I won't be able to, my range of motion is going to be horrible. I'm going to be in a lot of pain. It's just got too bad to keep pushing at this point with it.
Interesting. Yeah, because you're a guy, I was looking at the record. This is the first time in over 30 fights you've ever pulled out due to injury. So I'm guessing that relative to all the aches and pains and bumps and bruises and everything else, this must have been rather significant.
Yeah, whenever, of course, every fighter, whether they've admitted it or not, they have aches and pains and they're going to fights hurt. If you're training for a fight, you're going to be pretty much, there's going to be days where you're hurting. And this actually, normal pain is no problem. That just comes with the job. But this actually got to a point where it was stopping me from doing the kind of training sessions I needed to be doing. And like I said, range of motion and internal rotation, a lot of stuff was just really, really bothering me. And it's time to get something done about it.
All right, now you said a short time. So let me guess, something like what, 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that?
I don't want to speak too soon until we get the second opinion.
Okay.
But the first doctor and also the UFC's doctor was saying if we do go that route with stem cell or PRP, that it's going to be really, really quick. Like a few days, I'll be resting to let the injection get into where it needs to be and get settled, and then I'll be moving around within a few days. So, it just depends what the second doctor says. But I think, I'm trying to stay optimistic. I think I'll be moving around really, really quick.
Yeah, so it sounds like, and again, knock on wood, best case scenario, you could be fighting first quarter 2019?
Oh, that's worst case.
Oh, okay. So, wow, you could fight in 2018?
I mean, we'll see what happens, but if the doctor agrees that a stem cell injection or alleviate what's going on with the range of motion and stuff, and my body takes it well, I don't see why not.
Wow.
But like I said, man, I'm just trying to be optimistic one day at a time.
All right, so let me ask you about the fight buildup itself. It sounds like for you and for Nate, maybe for different reasons, this whole thing was exhausting. Like, y'all were out there campaigning for 165, Dana saying no. Well, then what about making it just the main event or something? And no, like, how many times did this fight change or try to get changed behind the scenes?
I mean, dude, we don't have enough time to talk about how many times it got changed and the fight was on, it was off. It was just crazy. It was a lot of crazy stuff going on.
All right, could you give us just a hint of like maybe a couple of things that had happened that threw you off the path or were just difficult to deal with?
They wanted to switch it to 5 rounds. Man, it's just so much stuff, dude. I don't even. Nate was being hard to deal with, I believe.
What was he objecting to? What were you hearing?
Every weight class that they offered it at 55. He wanted 160. I agreed to that. And he kind of negotiated himself out of the main event spot. They offered us the main event. I accepted. Nate over-negotiated. We lost the main event. It was just back-to-back, days after day of him trying to have his way, honestly.
So, all right, so what you're saying is they offered you guys the main event, 5 round, but at 155, and he said no?
Yeah.
And then they did it at 160, and he said no?
No. Then he said he'll do it at 165 or 160. I said, okay. They didn't want it. UFC wanted no part of any other catch weight or anything like that.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Okay. And you would have been happy with a 150.
They were totally
yeah,
against it.
you would have been happy fighting on a main event with no belt, right?
Of course, a pay-per-view main event. I mean, all eyes on us. It's a big deal.
Crazy. Do you think would you fight Nate again if they brought it up and said, okay, the stem cell went great, you're looking great, he's ready, you're ready, let's try it again? Are you interested or no?
Dude, I would, but like I said, man, so much stuff went on behind the scenes. This guy, you know, even if everything went smooth, I'm not even sure if he'd even, you know, if this fight would have went through with this guy. But if the UFC wants it, I'm down. If they can make it happen, I'm down.
Right, I see. But in other words, you're looking for a, what do you want to call it? Someone who's more committed to the process?
Right. Yeah, I would rather that, you know.
Who wouldn't, right?
Because,
in your position.
You know, a lot of these fans are like blowing me up on social media and stuff, like saying you blew an opportunity or your big payday and stuff like that. That they don't understand how contracts work. Like I'm getting paid. I don't get pay-per-view points to fight Nate Diaz. I don't know what everybody thinks is going on here, but I took this fight not because it's a big money fight, because it was a big opportunity that turned into a huge headache with all the stuff that he was playing.
Man, so like, do you have your eye on the winner of any other fight? Like, for example, you got Kevin Lee, Ally Quinta. Does the winner of that interest you?
I have my eyes on everybody, man, honestly. But just like I said after my last fight, I want big fights, you know. My goal is to be the world champion. So whatever fight makes sense. I felt like this Nate fight did make sense. You know, if the UFC can get him to play ball, maybe it comes back together. Maybe we do it. If not, we see what shakes out, man, and what's next. But I need big fights.
Yeah, no, I can certainly understand that. Who wouldn't want a big fight against one of these guys? Okay, what about the 165 division? Now, were you advocating for that because you believe that that's something the UFC should do, or just, hey, I'm game for whatever?
I think they should do. I think that's something they should do. You know, making 155 is not easy to me anymore. This is a tough cut, but you know, honestly, whenever my hips feeling a lot better and I can do a lot of road work and do the sprints and do the amount of stuff that I need to do to get my weight down, it'll be a lot smoother. But that was kind of some of the reason why I was pushing for it too. I was like, well, if my hips bother me like this, 165 is a little bit less weight to cut. It'll be smoother process for me.
So if the UFC opened a 165 division tomorrow, right, and let's say your hip is feeling great, you're feeling great, do you want to do the road work and stick at 155 because you put in so much work there, or would you jump up to 165 and then try your opportunities there?
No, I would say 55, I believe.
Okay. All right. For now, anyway.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a 55er.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, did you and Nate ever talk at any point?
Never.
Do you ever talk to an opponent behind the scenes, or is that unheard of for you?
You know, there's been times at events where me and a guy have mutual respect for each other, and we'll talk a little bit before you know, like maybe at the day of weigh-ins where we're around each other a lot, like see you out there tomorrow, let's handle business, or let's put on a show, simple stuff like that. But I've never hung out and with an opponent or anything.
No, but what I mean is there was one day where you guys were both tweeting like right next to each other about 165. It almost seemed like you guys had talked and planned it, but what you're telling me is that's not true.
No, not at all.
No. All right. So you fly out to LA, you said when?
I'm still in Coconut Creek right now. I'm getting everything tightened up over here. This is where I do my training camps. I'm flying back to Louisiana tomorrow morning, and then Wednesday afternoon I'm flying to LA.
And so you should know by what, Wednesday, Thursday, whether this is a thing you can do?
Well, I'll know by Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, exactly what the next step is, and I'll have a timetable of when I'll be able to get back to 100% training.
Right. Okay. All right, man. Well, look, I won't keep you any longer. We got you on short notice. I really appreciate you making time for us. And obviously, we hope that the doctor has some good news. It would be great to see you back. And sorry you couldn't be here for UFC 230, but I'm sure the fans are eagerly anticipating your return.
Thank you, man.
All right. There he goes. The Diamond. Got him on short notice. Really appreciate him making time for us.